Hey, good morning, everybody. Another video here to talk about the Royals. It's been a couple days since I've made one and wanted to go over a few of the things that have been happening last couple days. It is Monday, March 12th, as I try to balance this phone here so I don't do something I'm not supposed to. There we go. Okay. Oh, right there's the camera. That's not the camera. That's the camera. One of the things that happened, you know, and I talked about, and I'm losing track of actually what I've talked about, but I know that the last time it was John Jay. It was the Royals signing John Jay to a 1-year contract, and then right after that happened, was it the next day or 2 days after? Mike Moustakas has come back to Kansas City, and it's hard to say comes back to Kansas City because he played for the Royals last year. So it's not like he left to win somewhere. Obviously, he was a free agent. He was looking to sign elsewhere, looking to sign a multi-year contract somewhere. That didn't pan out. So the short version is Moustakas is back as the Royals' third baseman. That's good for the Royals. And as I'm heading into the office here on Monday morning, I was just listening to 610 Sports, and they had Dayton Moore. It was a recorded interview from their press conference after they signed Moustakas, and Dayton Moore made a very interesting comment. So, and I'm going to get to the comment here in just a second. But one of the things that I'm seeing on various Facebook pages, and I'm seeing on the blogs, the comments of the blogs, is that the Royals didn't need to bring back Moustakas because they had Cheslor Cuthbert and because they had Hunter Dozier. So I was pretty much resigned to the fact that Cheslor Cuthbert was going to probably be the starting third baseman a couple weeks ago. Even though I think he's at best a replacement level hitter, and he is a defensive liability, and I've been through that, and the numbers will back that up. But it seems like a lot of the Royals fans were like, well, you know, we've lost Hosmer, we're going to lose Moustakas, you know, might as well just play these young guys. It's almost like many Royals fans had just given up any idea that anybody could come back. And when they bring Moustakas back, now suddenly there's a little bit of a backlash in the community. And I think most people are on board with it, but there is a segment of fans who are just very, very angry still that Moustakas was even wanting to leave. Look, I'm going to rewind the clock back to the mid-'80s, early 80s. George Brett wanted to leave Kansas City. And George Brett, after the Hosmer deal with the Padres, he even said, hey, I wouldn't have stayed here if under those same circumstances. But the game was different. The legendary battles with between Brett and Ewing Kauffman. I mean, Avon Fogelman was the kind of the mediator, and obviously he owned half the Royals at a certain point. He was the one who was really always on Brett's side. George Brett, I mean, while he is a lifelong member of the Royals and he is a mainstay in the community now, so he's a Kansas City for life. This is his home now. Look, he didn't want to play his whole career here either. It worked out that way. So when we go back to Mike Moustakas, I think many fans, I think they had just given up the fact that they just given up on the idea of him coming back. And after they lost Hosmer, I think they just wanted to full-on embrace the suckfest. The suckfest of playing Dozier and Cuthbert every single day. Look, Cheslor Cuthbert is a nice player to have on the bench. He's a Major League Baseball player for sure. But he's never going to be a star. He's never going to be an all-star. And I say never. That's kind of I mean, I hate to speak in hyperbole or absolutes. But let's just get it out there. Cheslor Cuthbert is, he's just not going to be the everyday third baseman, and he's not going to be the everyday third baseman for a winning team. Why? Well, Dayton Moore knows more about baseball than I do. I know a lot about baseball, Okay, and I'm not shy about saying that. I played the game, growing up, never past the age of 16, 17 years old, but I know about the game, and I've studied the game. I consider myself a student of the game. Other sports I'm a fan of. I'm a cursory fan of football. I like basketball to a certain extent, but I don't study it. I study baseball, and I love baseball. I love the sport. So when I hear Dayton Moore say things, and Dayton Moore knows more about it than I do. So his quote this morning that I heard on the way in, and I had to stop the radio and make this video before I forgot the quote. He talked about the value of bringing Moustakas back, and about how there's some things you just can't put a value on. I'm kind of paraphrasing here. But the one thing that really stuck out to me, more than anything, is he said, we were talking about what Moustakas brings on and off the field. He said that if in 2016 Mike Moustakas had been healthy, Dayton Moore says without a doubt the Kansas City Royals would have gone back to the playoffs. I'm going to repeat that. He said without a doubt in 2016 if Mike Moustakas had not got hurt, the Royals would have gone back to the playoffs. That was his belief. Obviously there's no way to prove that, but that was what Dayton Moore believes, and that is what he's going with. Now, if I'm Chesler Cuthbert, and I hear my general manager say that, I get a little incensed, because Cuthbert had a decent season that year. He ran out of steam in August. That was obvious. But he still had a decent season. Okay, I'll give him that. He wasn't good in the field, but he had a decent season, hitting. But Dayton Moore basically said, with that team, with the best relief pitcher in modern history, in Wade Davis, and still with almost the entire team back from the year before, minus Greg Holland, the Royals didn't make the playoffs. They won 81 games. And without looking at it, I think it would have taken 87 wins to get the second wild card. So 6 more games. Was Moose worth 6 more wins than what Cuthbert brought? Could have been. People would look at the WAR stat to determine that. Look, the WAR stat is... I'm going to make a video one of these days about why I despise WAR. So some people say, wow, he was only worth, 1.7 WAR, and then he was worth 0.73, WAR in the field. Look, don't talk to me about that. That doesn't make any sense. So if you're going to say, well, he was only worth 2.5 WAR, so the Royals would have only won 83 games, just stop. I mean, would Mike Moustakas have made the difference in 6 or 7 more wins? He very well could have. Or he may not have. But the general manager of the Royals, Dayton Moore, believes that he would have done that. Okay, person, you just crossed over 2 lanes of traffic, actually through a lane that did not exist. Are you serious? Whatever. These people just don't pay attention. While I'm making a video, people probably call me a hypocrite. At least I'm keeping my eyes on the road. Anyway, that was fun. So the general manager of the Royals believes that there's a value of having Mike Moustakas, a value that sometimes the stats can't really determine. So what is that value? That value is the fans chanting Moose every time he comes up to bat. It's the kids wearing the Moose antlers. It's that guy with the 6-foot-tall Moose antlers that comes to the game. It's the hospitals that Moustakas goes and visits. He's talking about the kids. He's not the same type of leader as Eric Hosmer. And he's never going to be that in front of the media, the media's suave or savvy suave. Hey, he's suave for sure. He's not media savvy like Hosmer is. Hosmer he brings different things to the table. But Moustakas brings plenty in the clubhouse. It's more of I'm going to light a fire under your butt. You guys remember what happened in Game 3 of the World Series in 2015 when Noah Syndergaard told all of baseball the day before and including game day that he was going to throw at Alcides Escobar's head? And the Royals complained to the commissioner's office. They complained to everybody. It says, why someone say anything? And everyone just kind of laughing it off. The media laughs it off. And then what does Syndergaard do on the first pitch? He throws it over his head. Remember the shot of Moustakas in the dugout? That's what Moustakas brings to the club. That's who Mike Moustakas is. And his ability to transform himself from the 2014 season to, there's another person crossing 2 lanes of traffic. Right, just to make a quick turn. People, get in the right lane. I'm so distracted right now. It's ridiculous. I was making a point and I totally forgot now. So anyway, let's get back to it. I'm 11 minutes into this video. I want to keep these under 10 minutes if I can, so my rambling has gone on. Anyway, so Mike Moustakas signed 1-year contract, $5.5 million, buyout after this season. If the Royals choose not to do the option, it is a mutual option, so that's a little unusual. So a mutual option is essentially a player option. So $1 million buyout guaranteed. So if he comes back to the Royals, he makes a lot more. I think it's like a $15 million second-year deal, the option. But if the Royals buy it out, it's $1 million. So he's guaranteed $6.5 million. And there is incentives to make this year's contract from 5.5 all the way up to 7.7. Look, Mike Moustakas, I don't know what the incentives are. Maybe they've been released. I haven't seen them yet. If I was Mike Moustakas, I'd be firing Scott Boras. Scott Boras played a game of chicken with his client, and he lost big time. He lost big time with Carlos Gonzalez. He lost with Jake Arrieta. He won with Eric Hosmer. I mean, you will win some of them. But Scott Boras completely misread the market for his players. And even Greg Holland is still sitting out there, another Scott Boras client. So, Mike Moustakas, what does it mean to him coming back for the price? Obviously, it's a good price for the Royals. And now, in the past week, the Royals have signed Lucas Duda, John Jay, and Mike Moustakas. And I said at the very big, at the outset, who's going to play first? Who's going to play third? Who's going to play center? Were we really going to go into a season with Paulo Orlando or Billy Burns as the starting center fielder, with Dozier and Cuthbert at the corners? And I was kind of resigned. Well, if they're not going to sign anybody, why don't they just play Ryan O'Hearn? That's who I was wanting to see win the job. Now that they signed Lucas Duda, yeah, I'm okay with Duda playing and O'Hearn getting another year to develop, because I really think Ryan O'Hearn should be given the shot next season as the starting first baseman. But that's another conversation for another day. So I'm happy that Moustakas is back. I think it makes the Royals a better team. Now it's all going to come down to the pitching staff and what does the pitching do? And Hamill hasn't looked great in spring training so far this year. Duffy has looked really good. Nate Carnes has looked good. Come on, folks. It is a crosswalk, and I am stopping. What in the world are we doing here? Are you going or are you staying? You're going. Okay, thank you. My goodness gracious. Let's just stop and stare at the car, who has obviously come to a complete stop, waiting for you to cross the crosswalk. Monday mornings, I swear. Maybe I should make these videos another times, because it's not road rage. It's just, I really get frustrated at stupid people. Like people that, like when you're driving on a road and you're driving in the left lane, or the you're driving in the left lane, and then suddenly the person in front of you stops because someone's trying to turn left, going the other direction onto like a side street or something, or maybe into a parking lot, and they're stopped because they're gonna, by golly, they're gonna let this car in because they're gonna be a nice person, which that's fine. It's fine to be nice. It's fine to, do things like that from time to time, without taking into consideration that the right lane is still moving, traffic is still going through, and that's interesting, Mike. And the right lane traffic is not stopping, so this person still cannot turn, but now you're blocking traffic. So sometimes I wish people would get a clue. So if you've enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. This is an interesting video. Long story short, I'm glad the Royals re-signed Mike Moustakas. They need a third baseman. They have a major league third baseman again now. It's all going to come down to the pitching. Real quick, I do want to mention Jorge Bonifacio, 80-game suspension. That's going to hurt the Royals. Bonifacio had a good season last year, and I was really looking forward to him playing a full season between outfield and DH. So it's up to Jorge Soler to really come through now. What do the Royals do? Off the top of my head, I don't know at this point. I think this gives Hunter Dozier maybe some more opportunities to probably be the designated hitter, maybe play some first base as well. I think it puts him on the team, honestly. Or maybe Cuthbert. I think one of those guys that's going to be an everyday player. If Cuthbert was mostly the DH, I'm not, okay, whatever, that's fine, because he really is the liability in the field. We'll see what happens. The next couple weeks is really going to be telling. Opening day it's less than 2 weeks away, so the Royals have got to get some of these decisions made. Cut downs are coming. And then I promise I'll make another video that we'll talk about the bullpen. We haven't talked about that. The bullpen is an absolute disaster right now, and it's going to hold the Royals back. The Royals really need to re-sign Greg Holland. I think that would be a tremendous move for them. So anyway, everybody have a nice day. Have a nice week, and go Missouri Tigers.